Hello crafters and welcome to the Hobby Maker tutorial YouTube channel. I'm James Hembrow and thank you very much for spending a few moments with me. Now I just wanted to share with you something a little bit different as part of our Introduction to Stamping and Ink Pad series about a little unknown effect that you can create using this fantastic Watermark ink pad. Now we often use these for our heat embossing, I've shown you that already, but did you know you can create some stunning watermark background effects using just this one ink pad? Just going to bring back in my stamping platform and a piece of craft card because there's one final thing to bring all of this together, and that's just to look at our watermark stamp pad, which is our Watermark. Now we used this in the previous video to do heat embossing. It's just a clear oil-based or glycerine-based embossing ink pad that you would use with embossing powders. But this one also works really well as a watermark stamp pad. Now what do I mean by a watermark stamp pad? Watermark stamp pad basically, if you like, turns down or turns up, however you want to look at it, the colour of your cardstock by sort of 2 or 3 notches. So it's going to darken down my craft card where I stamp. It would darken down even my yellow, green, red, even black, I'll show you that in a minute, cardstock just by a few notches. So it's not going to add colour, it's actually going to, if you like, change the fibres in the card. So people don't often think of these, they think of them as embossing ink pads, but they're actually truly a watermark ink pad. It's something that sits into the cardstock. It just takes a while to dry, as we know, so you just need to heat set it if you're not going to add embossing powders to it. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's go in with our trusted flower, because I quite like this one. And I'm just going to pick that up and I'm going to go in over the top with my embossing ink pad, or my watermark ink pad, the Watermark. Any embossing ink pad will do this, but the Watermark one is particularly engineered with the ink to work as a watermark ink pad, more so than others. So again, I'm just stamping in the same fashion, and that is going to turn around now, and just by letting that ink transfer over to the craft card, and craft card's great, you get a really nice sort of rustic effect with this. It's just going to knock that cardstock down by a few degrees and just make it that little bit darker. And it is something that's going to improve over time, improve with age if you like, so I'm told. And if you see that stamped image there at the moment, you can actually see it's already just darkening ever so slightly. And that's not an ink I've applied, it's a completely clear ink, there's no colour in the ink. It's purely the cardstock. Now what that means you can do, if I just bring an example there of a slightly different design, that's exactly what I've done with this card here. All those almost like shadow, could look at tea stain or coffee stains. Also you could do splots and splatches with the background like it's almost being inked up. But all that is there is that exact technique on craft card with a little bit of blending around the edges, which we'll look at in another video, to create this fantastic watercolour effect. So you can create some amazing backgrounds just by using your watermark ink pad. And just to bring this whole sort of episode together, if you like, just bringing this bit of white black cardstock just to remind us kind of where we've gone. So we've looked at stamping white ink onto black cardstock, which you can clearly see there in the middle. We've just then looked at stamping Watermark onto an ink pad, and as it dries it darkens, and you can see even on dark card, it doesn't show particularly well on the screen, but you can see just down here, that's exactly what I've done there. So even on dark card, you can actually create a watermarked image using that technique I've just showed you. And the other thing I've also explained, kind of demonstrated, is the fact that dye-based inks, and you can't see that no matter how much I change it, it's just a faint hue there. Dye-based inks, unlike pigment-based inks, are completely translucent. This is nice and opaque and solid. This is completely translucent. You cannot really see that stamped image on black cardstock, and that's a dye-based, I believe it was a Simon Hurley ink pad, but any dye-based ink pad would create that same nothingness. And trust me, I have stamped, it is very faint, but it is there. But that just shows you the 3 sort of concepts of inks on black card and how that creates different techniques. Well, there you go. Really hope you've enjoyed that. I know it's lots to take in, but it's just to spark some creativity, give you some really different ideas, just how you can use the stamps and ink pads, maybe that you've already got, but how you can use those in different ways, exactly what they do, and just to give you some different techniques. But go out there, get creative, have a go, and above all, make sure you keep on crafting, and obviously make sure you hit the like and subscribe below, hit that bell, and then we will keep you notified next time there's a brand new video dropping.